Hey guys, welcome to the video. One of the most common things that will happen to you if you take a holiday to Pattaya or Thailand is you might find yourself ending up falling in love. Personally, the best thing you can do is just spunk a load of money and just smash their back doors in and just get drunk as hell and end up in a police cell. But some of you geezers are out there falling in love, which is a totally bad idea. But however, you do have a 1 in 500,000 chance of finding someone who genuinely loves you. And those are good odds. A lot of you guys have been asking me to give some advice about how you can spot if a bar girl, truly loves you. So that's what I'm gonna do for you. What are the telltale signs that a bar girl is really into you? And what are the telltale signs that she's only after your moolah? Even if you are just getting gyro every 2 weeks, that's like 10 years worth of wages for these people, you know what I mean? Let's jump into it. Number 1, when you first meet one of these lucky little numbers, they're going to ask you a series of probing questions. Now this might seem like small talk to you, but what they're doing is they're trying to feel you out. Now when they're trying to feel you out, they'll be asking things like, where your hotel? Where you from? How long you holiday? Do you have girlfriend? How much do you have in your bank account right now? When they're asking these questions, you must answer them very carefully. And I've got a foolproof system to deal with this situation. When they say, what your name? Tell them your name's Steve Davis. Why Steve Davis? Well, there's actually a mental mind trick going on there. The average Thai girl can't process the word Steve and the word Davis at the same time in their head. This will throw them off balance. And when they're thrown off balance, you can re-maneuver the manipulation tactics and fling it back on them and end up making them fall in love with you. Now, this isn't guaranteed, but sometimes it is. When they ask where you're from, do not say Belarus. I won't go into it why you shouldn't, just don't do it. Don't tell them where you're really from, because they might be picking you out for trying to give them money. Now the thing is, if you do end up lying and then you've got to tell them the truth because the romance actually happens and you need to take them back to your country and marry them, then obviously they don't really like liars, so you've got to be careful with your liars. So if you're going to pick a country that ain't your country, make sure it's one that sort of sounds like your country and just say, look darling, you just misheard it, didn't you? I had to say the same thing to one of my Thai missuses when she was asking me if I could pay a load of money for a buffalo, you know what I mean? A buffalo and her brother. I couldn't tell the difference between a buffalo and a brother from the photos, so I was just like, well, one of them looks like he could never get a job, the other one looks like he could get a job, but everyone's going to mock him and that's very sad. How much do you want, sweetheart? And then when she told me the other man, I just pretended, I was drunk and I didn't remember a single thing. I told her I'd been knocked over by an ambulance and knocked me noggin and couldn't remember a fucking thing, you know what I mean? If she asks you if you holiday, say, I don't know what an holiday is. If she asks where your hotel is, tell her it's none of her fucking business and punch her in the face. Only joking, don't punch her in the face, punch her in the arm. Number 2, if she actually really does love you and the relationship becomes something solid, how much should you pay if she really loves you? Now, this is a bit of a tricky one. Some people's budgets don't quite qualify. Some people's budgets ain't the same as my kind of budget. How hot is she? Well, it doesn't really matter how hot she is because people are deluded these days. Some birds are a solid 2 and acting like they're a solid 15 out of 10, you know what I mean? Literally drooling all over the floor, got a face like a smashed pancake, elbows that look like they've barely survived the bubonic plague, kneecaps that look like a shriveled old man's balls, lopsided smile, one tooth poking out their nose. These birds are nuts. But the fact is, you need to come up with a solid number. Now, if you go too low, you're going to look cheap. If you go too high, you're going to be murdered. If she doesn't really love you, don't want to give her too much. But if she really does love you, you want to give her everything, don't you? I'll get it, son, I'll get it. What you want to do is come up with a number that you can barely manage, all right? That's fiscal planning. If you can't afford to give her 9,000 baht a month, you should give her 11,000 baht. That's absolutely perfect. Why? Because then you're going to be working hard. You're going to become a survivor. You're going to become a real man. You're going to be out there every day trying to look for that moolah to keep that girl loving you. Because when the moolah drives up, even if she really does love you, she's going to stop loving you. That's just how it is, you know what I mean? Women are weird and all that. Now it's time to get a word from our sponsor.
So I'll just shut the... We are over, you dumbass. I hope that you choke on a piece of concrete and literally go to hell. You goddamn wish you would have played your cards right with me.
Y'all don't need that noise. You need to go where you're treated like a king.
Yeah, boy! Passport Bro Cafe.
Number 3, you've got to be aware of the significant cultural differences between a Western woman and an Asian woman, particularly a Thai woman, and bar women, because bar women are different to most women. You've got to understand, you will not be the highest priority. Bar girl women have a totally different set of priorities compared to the average Western woman. First comes family, then comes themselves, then comes money, then comes food, then comes their Gucci handbag, then comes their Fendi handbag, then comes their pets, then comes sleep, then comes food, then comes sleep again, more sleep, food, one of their friends' pets, their gay best friend, then you. That's just how it is, and you're gonna have to live with that. Basically, the only thing that comes below you is their third handbag. And don't go buying that third handbag. Number 4 is very important, guys. Don't get caught out there. How are you gonna really know that they really love you? Well, it's quite easy. You say, do you love me, babe? They'll say, of course I love you. There you go, job done. Now, number 5, be careful, fellas. How are you gonna know if she's got multiple boyfriends? Because let's face it, some of these chicks are banging so many geezers, they're like a stripper at a footballer's birthday party. Well, one of the best ways and cleanest ways is to go through her phone and just look at the messages. Now, you're gonna have to do this when she's asleep, but luckily she's gonna be asleep for about 17 hours of the day, so it's quite easy. Now, a lot of them have got face recognition, and that's gonna be tricky. You can't be opening it. Now, you might open it on face while she's asleep, but that might alert her to the situation that you're doing. That's a little bit dangerous. Now, some people might think, well, what should I do? Cut her face off and stick it onto mine? No, that's insane. How are you going to stick it back on her head? No, what you got to do is get a very realistic photo of her face, take her to a Xerox place, stick her head in it, get a scan of that photo and just say it, and she'll be like, oh, why are you doing that? That's a bit mental, isn't it? And you'll be like, no, babes. I want to have this framed on my wall, you know what I mean? Well, why don't you take a photo of me, you freaking weirdo? And say, look, I ain't got time for that, babes. I love you too much to have time for that. And then you can just use that bit of paper, that Xerox picture of her face. Make sure you don't smudge her nose into the screen too much, you know what I mean? And then you can use that to open her phone and check how many boyfriends she's got. Now, when you do find she has some boyfriends, the best, most logical and emotionally stable thing to do is to hunt them down and chop their nuts off. That's what I did. No, I didn't. I didn't really do that. Obviously, I didn't do that. Why would I be talking about that? Why are you getting me to talk about that? Now, number 6. How do you know they got a penis? And if they have a penis, how are you going to deal with it? Well, pros of a penis is you'll know how to pleasure the penis because you've pleasured your own for many years. Win-win. She's going to be like so impressed by how you pleasure the penis that maybe she won't want some money. It's very unlikely, but it's a possibility in the realms of extreme possibilities. So that's one of the pros. What's one of the cons of having a penis? Well, it's penis, isn't it? It's disgusting. Number 7 is very important. How do you deal with Thai bar girl women's price discrepancies? As I mentioned earlier, some of these birds are a solid 2 out of 10. Some are a 15. But 2 out of 10 might be trying to charge you more than a 15 out of 10. It's nuts. For example, you might have some specky bird with a rack of teeth that looks like a bunch of broken bottles. You know what I mean? Nose looks like it's been punched in by Mike Tyson when he's on a cocaine binge. Basically, a face like a smashed bag of spanners. Now, this smashed bag of spanners might be trying to charge you 25% more than a solid 15. And you're like, what's going on around here? What the hell's that about? Now, nobody really knows, but I've got a theory because I heard something from some geezer on Facebook. Some of these solid 2 out of 10s really do think they're absolute super beautiful. And it's got something to do with the quality of mirrors in Thailand, which goes back thousands of years when the art of mirror making was completely orchestrated by some blind geezer. Now, I don't quite know how that happened, but basically all the methods that we have in the West about designing mirrors, they don't have in Thailand because it's culturally inappropriate, do you know what I mean? They want to save face. And the problem with saving face is they won't ever admit that it was a bad idea to let a blind geezer design mirrors for the rest of eternity, you know what I mean? But they won't go back and reverse the damage that they've already done because that's just how they are, innit? So remember, not all mirrors are equal. And that's why you got a 2 out of 10 trying to charge you 25% more, sometimes 50% more, you know what I mean? Hey, how do you tell if she's faking her pleasure? Now, let's face facts. When you're drilling down and she's squealing like a naughty pig, one of the best things in the world is knowing that she's absolutely loving it. But or she's faking it like some sort of weird actress. How do you tell? Honestly, I don't know. I've got no advice for you. Just don't care about it. I don't. I know it's going down well, absolutely, 100%. But, I wouldn't care otherwise. I wouldn't care if it wasn't, you know what I mean? Number 9, you might be thinking, how do I woo these birds? How do I woo them? Do I have the right kind of charisma for it, you know what I mean? What are some tips and tricks, you know? I mean, it all starts with having an absolutely riveting personality, you know what I mean? If you've got a riveting personality, you know what I mean? Riveting personality is going to draw all the birds in, you know what I mean? Should she have a riveting personality? No, that doesn't really matter. Do any of them have a riveting personality? No, none of them do. So it doesn't really matter if you've got a riveting personality, 'cause she's not going to have a riveting personality. She's going to be boring as hell. So, you know what I mean? If you just want to stick the darts on while she just sucks you off, just go for it, man. It doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? The next one is tricky. How do you deal with a breakup? Well, my best advice for most geezers that come out of Pattaya, when she breaks up with you, don't jump off your hotel balcony or your condo balcony. Don't do it. It doesn't solve anything. All right, I've tried it. What happens? Well, your face smashes into the concrete and you could be paralyzed or dead. Doesn't really work. Some people say, you know, one of the best ways to deal with a breakup is to jump off a balcony. But I've never seen jumping off a balcony bring any bird back into my life, I tell you that. Doesn't work. I don't know who started this rumour that if you jump off a balcony, it's going to make her come running back to you, you know what I mean? I have no idea. Where did that come from? No idea. It's crazy. Don't do it. Don't jump off a balcony. Now, the last one's very important, because we're on the subject of balconies and trying to fly. How do you avoid your girlfriend or a tired bar girl woman pushing you off a balcony? Now, this is all part of the dating game. This is all part of the strategy. This is all part of life. When you're falling in love with a tired woman, there's a likelihood she's going to push you off your balcony. Now, everyone's not 100% sure if they're getting pushed off a balcony or they're jumping off a balcony or blown by a gust of wind or maybe hit by a sonic eagle that's invisible. I mean, could it be suicide? Could it be murder? Could it be an accident? It could be all three at the same time. That's life. How could it be all three at the same time? Is that even possible? I don't think so, but you know, everything's possible, isn't it? It's Thailand. The only way you can avoid getting pushed off a balcony by a little Thai girl is to just basically rent a place or get a hotel that's on the first floor, you know what I mean? Like, or at least on a floor that you know you can handle if you got pushed off it, if you fell off it, or if you decided that you were going to try that whole jump off a balcony thing to win her heart back idea, you know what I mean? It's the only way you can be really safe. Now, if you can't do that, you know what I mean, and they're like, look, mister, all we got is like the 15th floor or something. When you're bringing the bird back there, you're going to have to like, you know, just be very careful, you know what I mean? Maybe get a bungee rope and attach it yourself. Or just look out for the telltale signs. She might be like, hey, babes, do you want to go look out on the balcony and have a look at the beautiful sunset or something like that? Or it might be a real rainy day and she goes, babes, you know what's really hot? If we just go stand outside and get absolutely soaked in rain and look at all the pain and misery on the streets. And you're like, that's a bit weird. Why do you want to go do that? Why can't we just go smash on the sofa or something, you know what I mean? She wants to push you off that balcony because she's worked out how much money you got or where your money's at. Or when she took you down the Xerox place and she stuck your face in the Xerox machine because she wanted to have a lovely photo of you so she could dap herself off when you're not around. What she was really doing was getting a photo of you so she could open your phone and access your banking and take all your money, and then she's going to push you off the roof. Or maybe she's going into your, you know, wills app, and instead of leaving all your money to your dear ma and your 5 kids you ain't seen for a while, you know what I mean? She's made sure that all that money's going to herself, and off you go. Your first and last flying lesson, my son. Right now, we got a word from our sponsor.
Come get some pies and some lady fun, boys.
A word from our other sponsor. Are you looking for some sexy, naughty fun with bulls and balls? That's right, the ancient game of bulls by the French with a little twist. You got a lady boy tied to your back. And the idea is that you, if you win, they'll drill you. And if you lose, they'll drill you. So like, it's a win-win or lose-lose situation. But it's a lot of fun. I went down there. Obviously, I didn't let them strap a lady boy to my back because I'm not like that, you know what I mean? I got strapped to their back, right? That's how you dominate, you know? That's how you be a man. A heterosexual man in a situation is you're taking control, you know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with backdoor action, right? Nothing to do with that. Right, it's about who's in control, who's the man in this situation, not me. And if you're ever looking for a good massage, well, there ain't one. Anyway, I hope that was real useful, guys. If you found it useful, you know what I mean, donate me some money because things are a bit tight. Not tight, I just can't access some funds in my bank account at the moment, you know what I mean? I'm flossing, but like, this is a bit of a problem with my PIN number, you know what I mean? Anyway, like, so, you know, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, you know I do, you know what I mean? So, yeah, stay safe out there. If you're going to fall in love hard, right? Right, it's the safest thing to do because she probably does love you.